This is your chance. You're given the time to make something of it, and you'll have that, and it'll be done, complete, and you'll be proud of it.
So it's got to be great. It's got to be the best thing you've ever made at this school. It's got to be epic. It's got to be something you love, something you're passionate about.
This is a very big project. It's very, very important, of course, for graduation, and you should definitely challenge yourself, but also make sure it's doable.
The senior projects class is really about taking students through the three main phases of filmmaking, and with the goal of creating something that hopefully will be sort of your defining piece from your time at this school.
It can be corporate videos, documentaries, short narratives, you name it. And I think it's a great class because it's a class that really allows you to give open freedom and creativity, but it's a class that is really going to showcase what you've learned throughout your 3-4 years at the Art Institute, and it's what's going to help you find work once you graduate.
This is quite the challenge, the senior project class, because you need to understand that this is a very long process and there's a lot you need to do.
An entire quarter dedicated to pre-production, where we map out, we make the script, we find locations, do casting, and all the things that make us ready to start shooting the first day of the second quarter.
After that, you move into the production quarter, where you are putting together a team of people to help you and starting on the production aspect of your project and shooting.
Let's throw some dirt in there too.
Okay, get some on your hands. The third piece of it is post-production, where ideally you have the entire quarter to focus on the editing of the piece, audio mixing, and special effects if need be, and really just polishing and completing the finished product that has had 3 quarters of work behind it.
Some advice I have for people entering into the senior project class is just to have a script already developed by the time you start. It'll save you a ton of time, and then you can spend the pre-production quarter focusing more on what you need to get stuff ready to start shooting, rather than still developing ideas and trying to figure out what exactly you want to do.
Draft the hell out of your script over and over and over again, and it may get tiring and repetitive, but you're just going to help yourself in the long run.
You'll bring in your script and we'll have something called table reads. So you'll all sit down, we'll all sit down together, you'll read out your script, you'll assign different characters to the different classmates, and we'll all read it together, and then we'll give feedback on the script. We'll try to make it better for you, try to say, improve this part, or maybe get rid of this part, and try to make your script as tight and complete as possible.
It's just really good to collaborate with other people in the class and figure out a way to make your script better.
And I think it's really important when you get the feedback to be as humble as you possibly can. And I know a lot of people in the past, they've had somewhat, attitudes because they almost feel like maybe the students are putting their ideas down, but in actuality, they're helping them improve on their ideas to better their project.
Don't be afraid or unwilling to collaborate. Be open-minded to accept others' ideas and opinions. At the same time, don't feel that you need to bow down to someone else's vision, because ultimately this is your project.
One of the things you have to do during the production process is create a storyboard.
Each shot should have a purpose.
So I decided to take the route of actually hiring a storyboard artist who was an illustrator from this school, Art Institute of Seattle, who graduated a couple quarters ago. So he was a very good drawer, and he had actually been trained in film storyboarding.
I feel there's no excuse to not storyboard.
Do you see what I'm saying? So you're making sure that these two are distracted when you go down the visual bench.
You need to pick a reliable crew that you can trust with your life.
And I made sure that I picked out people that I knew that I could count on, and that people not only that I could count on, but actually had the skills and the know-how and the ambition to want to help me get a project done.
Some other advice that I'd have for students in the senior project class is to not rely too heavily on other people to make sure your project gets done. Especially if you're using other students, people get busy and then they can't devote as much time to helping you. So just make sure that when it comes down to it, you have everything that you need to essentially do it yourself if you have to.
When I first took senior projects class, I brought to the class a concept and an idea that I had of doing a mixed genre film. And I came up with this concept for like sort of a rock and roll noir film, and I called it Goons. And people were excited about the piece. And moving into production, we managed to organize a Kickstarter campaign. And we ended up launching a Kickstarter campaign and raised about $5,000, and we moved into production, and it was really cool. One of the really exciting things that Chris Taylor brought to the set was that he owns a Red camera, so we were able to shoot the film all on his Red camera. But one of the downsides of the Red camera is the files are incredibly large, and there was none of the people involved had the sort of space to really contain all those in one place, and we ended up buying a dedicated hard drive for the entire project. And all the footage was contained on that hard drive. But with about 2 days left to go, scheduled, and with a working rough cut under my belt, an accident happened and the hard drive failed on me, and it resulting in the fact that I lost 95% of everything that we had shot to that point. Just back up your stuff. Back it up twice, 3, 4 times. It's worth it.
This is where you can make the mistakes. Once you go out in the real world, if you're making the same mistakes out there that you were here, it's permanent. That's it. You'll probably never be hired again.
Definitely a balancing act here that you have to work with. You want creativity, you want, challenge, but not to the point where you don't get it done.
This is one of the best opportunities you have in this program to really walk away with something that you can be proud of for years to come.